Hello everyone, welcome to a new special video. I didn't want to make a new one, I didn't have plan for that, but considering how sentiment is changing just because of a few daily or 4-hour candles, um, I wanted to show you a zoom out perspective once again, trying to show you the data on what I see, on what I believe. I have the feeling that no matter how much data or trying to be objective, doesn't matter how much you try, because people in the end will just sift their feelings and their emotions based on a few candles, right? That's all that matters. And that's why most people chase. And some make some money and most lose it because they don't play the trend, they don't play the structure, which is hard. It requires hundreds and thousands of hours to be charting, right? Because there is a difference between conviction and stubbornness. I still believe we are in a big uptrend that is still healthy, and nothing has changed so far. And of course, no one knows if that's going to happen or not. That's trading a life after all. But I have conviction, and until things are invalidated, I won't change that. The difference is, I play the high time frame, so my conviction is high time frame. In between, like days or a few weeks, everything could look terrible. But then when everything runs, no one is suspicious about that big run. No one is scared because we are pushing too fast or too high. No, it's great because that's what we want, and we don't question anything. The moment we see a few red candles, we question everything just because we don't want to see that, and it goes the other way, right? So let's start with BTC daily, and I know the feeling. Yeah, here 106k.5, which is the short-term support for this short-term momentum to keep it up. We couldn't hold it, and that's why we've been chopping. Remember that I share different time frames, different support areas, but you have to know that those levels depend on the time frame. So for the short time frame, I said 100. We are still in this. Nothing has changed pretty much. It's just few Ks up or down, but since we are, or most of us are in altcoins, that it feels that it's way worse. But we know when BTC chops, everything affects way more the altcoins, right? So this is still a chop. For now, the 50 is still holding, right? And even if we lose it, I posted in the last video. In a recent post. Even if we go to tap liquidity here in a kind of a big flash, and we tap this lower area, right, this lower bound about here, 98, 90, 99, it's still bullish. It's that simple. The thing is, I'm looking at a chart, not thinking what these kind of moves could mean to my bags, and I feel like this would be terrible, and that's why I tried to look somewhere else for another option. I'm just looking at the chart. This is just a 4%. I don't care if my altcoins temporarily lose another 15%, 12%. Have we already forgotten here that in Q4, here in Q4, how we had 20, 30% hourly candles or even 4-hour candles? No one complained about that. No one asked themselves what was going on. It was just to the moon, right? But if we see here, it's all over. That's why when you see, or when most people see big fat green candle, we are so back. So everything is based on just the color of the candle. Yeah, okay. Then people wonder why there's manipulation in the market. I mean, you are easy to manipulate. And when I say you know, I mean people in general, right? So for now, the daily holding the 50, right? And the compression pattern is still going on, right? I still believe this is some kind of a bull flag, but I know most people wouldn't believe that, right? I remember when I posted this huge weekly bull flag. And when we were analyzing the change, the shift in the trend here, and I said that in 2024 price action was looking worse because it was lower lows, lower highs. So bears saw that and say after 8 months, dude, give up, it's over. Okay, and then we went to the 50 weekly and we saw it was just a retest of the higher time frame after 6 months of a big run. What the fuck do people expect? Up only constantly 6 months, and that's not enough. Perhaps it's not enough because you didn't play it right. You want it to extend for longer because you bought at the wrong time. You didn't buy when everyone told you it was over, when it was boring. You started buying here, and that's why you wanted to go higher. But that's not how the markets work, right? So again, most people will probably not believe that this still is a pullback. Lower high, lower low, whatever you want to say. But it's still holding the MAs and price compression within this bullflag. That's what I see. And people might say it's a clear double top. Do you think that this is the same? And let's ignore for now the open interest, which was really high here. Do you think this is the same? This was a slightly, not a divergence, and since then, yeah, nothing has changed. There is no divergences anywhere. It's normal chop price action. So this is either reaccumulation or distribution. What do you think? Because I believe this is clear distribution. Attempts, another push, we couldn't make it after being really exhausted, right? And the weekly reaching 75, something like that. We haven't even crossed the 70 RSI mark on the weekly. So yeah, okay, let's say you don't believe this is a bull flag, that this is going down. Let's lose the trends first, because what I see here in Q4 is this was the bottom in September. First retest, double retest here in October. We tried again, we got rejected by the previous all-time high, and we tested the 20, slightly getting to the 50. And now we have just tested the 50. Again, the sentiment here was terrible too, because it was over. And we built a slight bullish divergence. And let me show you something. When people said here this was a terrible price action, whatever, they were glued to the screen every single day. And when you're glued every single day, this chop destroys you, because you think we are back and it's over. We're back. Imagine doing that to yourself for 8 months, right? That's terrible. I did that. I went through that here at the top. And then it just completely shut down the noise, focus on what I was seeing. And that's why we spotted the trend change when pretty much no one else was doing that. And when everyone was focusing on these moves, lower lows, lower highs, daily divergences, crushing people's hopes, and yeah, making them feel that it was all over, because they know, the market makers know, the people are glued here. That's why you give them these little spurs to make them believe that we're back, it's over, we're back. You exhaust them to make them give up. But we saw at the same time how the bottom was forming, how strength was building, and structurally speaking, this liquidity area and a new resistance turned into support. This was what's happening right in front of us, but the structure made us think that it was over. It was just a complete downtrend, but everything was shifting. Look at here. At least if you want to say this is over, wait for this. Wait for constant rejections. You can say, yeah, it's holding the lower band. Yes, but it's unable for a very long time to break the upper band. So this is tricky. People would say, okay, this is strength building. After we just had this toppy area weakness, strength building so fast is just more hoping than anything else. But again, it could be easy to say now in hindsight, but we couldn't, and we eventually gave up. Rejection. Difficulties to hold it, eventually lose it. Rejection, eventually, again, lose it. Rejection, yeah, it's all bad. Lower lows, lower highs, right? And again, what do we see? From very observed levels, strength building. And look at the shift. This is the launchpad I talked about many times. We start reclaiming, instead of being unable to cross, getting rejected, we start reclaiming this. Averages start compressing, we break above, we pretty much front run this, and structurally speaking, we reclaim these 98 areas, I think, at the upper support of this range, where Bear said this was a dead cat bounce and got rejected here, and it's over. We got this 93 area, right? This was, of course, it's going to be rejected at first. It was here, good, an important support and resistance area. Of course, it's going to chop for some time. If you get glued to the daily, you see this and say, well, we are losing the MA. It's, dude, zoom out for a little bit. We are holding structure. We can just chop and correct. We saw that going sideways. We did the same here. A structure holds. What do? Averages all above. In fact, this is the first retest of the averages since we broke and we changed the trend. Isn't that expected? I mean, we've been like 2 months, a month and a half running, and then we daily cycle low flash. We try it again. Is this a double retest? Something we haven't seen? Something bad? When we are chopping up and down, not being able to cross, to hold the breakouts, and being unable to hold the lower band, this is pure chop, and that's when you look for the horizontal structure, the next level to find the bottom. So for now, moving averages are holding, and I don't see a structure breaking. Right? Again, even if we come back here, this still is a bullish structure. It depends on the time frame you are playing. Tell me this is not a bullish structure. The thing is, you are glued to all the in-betweens, right? This, you tell me, from the breakout here, we have this, and you tell me that this so far is not a bullish trend. Do you know the difference? A year and a half in between. So you can miss all this because in between you want to nail everything, or you want everything to go. I mean, we know how hard altcoins are, but if you know what altcoins are, you should also know how it just in 1 week you can reverse the whole downtrend. That's it, or 2 weeks. And you have to play around the high time frame. You have to build a solid strategy. Again, all this job, all this, you go to the weekly, and what do we see? I'll remove the drawings a little bit to make it easy. We see it's a retest of the 50, a retest of the 50, and let's forget about the time frame for a second, right? We see this is the double top here. We didn't know it was a double top. We were very far from the averages. That's what brought all the overheating here, because there wasn't any cool off in between, pretty much, even though we had sharp corrections, right? That got bought up very fast, that's why this was a very, very strong leg. And the moment we start, we in summer 21, we retest the 50, we hold, and we have another push, another retest, and the double top here, right? And then this changes because we tried to hold this and we get rejected. Something we didn't do here. We broke and retest, got rejected. We lose this support. This is already a downtrend. This is December, already a downtrend. We find the next support. It gets rejected again, but every average is becoming resistance until eventually giving up. And then when everything looks like it's over, we start forming the reversal, pretty much we wait for the high time frame structure levels to see the potential support. I started adding in the late 2020, right? I didn't perfectly add below 20k, but it added here, something here, because of high time frame. You miss this, of course you are not gonna nail everything. That's why this is a deviation. And then we reclaim and go. So forget about the time frame for a second. All I see is, okay, we start reclaiming the first average, something that hasn't happened yet. It's all pretty much resistant, not even touching that. We retest twice in this range, right? Reaccumulation. And then explosion from ground, 6 months without pretty much not even touching the first bound, the 20. And then yes, we tried here, we failed to make a new high. This could be very telling with the MA already below. This could be very telling, this second bounce here. And then yeah, the downtrend to the 50 again. The 50, which by the way was tapped, retested twice. And then here, that's why I said September, October that this trend was shifting. Why? Because here, this is what I see. I see October has reclaimed the MA for the first time. And the weekly candle, even though it wicked below, it closed above the 20 for the first time after losing it. I don't care what people say here. This is it, the all-time high rejection, it's over, blah, blah, blah. We are in a new uptrend above all the EMAs. This is a new leg. I don't see a new leg failing this hard. It could happen. It could be a cycle over, but after 8 months, that's when everything starts rolling over. 8 months of downtrend, and then we have, I haven't seen that, but it could happen, why not? And then we have another push. Look how far from the MAs we are. No one was worried here, right? Again, 140, 100, sorry, 120, 140, when? Hey, February, that's all the eyes wise, because people, again, the same bulls and bears are the same, and they focus on the time frame. They want to focus because they try to justify what they want to see, right? Because sometimes it doesn't feel good when you just only, let's say only you make 2-3x in a move that you've been waiting for 8 months. So you don't want to accept that. So you try to change the time frame, look for any pattern, any fractal that suddenly fits you. I remember that. Tony, the bull, now the bear, calling for way higher prices here. And it's not something against him, but he trapped many new people. And I really hate that, right? And of course, those people sell courses and newsletters, so they know being bullish, extra bullish, is what people want. So that's the danger that most new players don't see. I fell for that in 2021. That's why I hate them so much. So what do we have now? A failed break of the range, apparently now. Yeah, is that what it sees? What it looks like? What I see is we can even retest or even front run. Again, we don't have to come back this low, and even if we do, it's a higher low. It's just a retest, but that's 96, 97k. People would really go nuts because we are losing 100k. Yes, in the short time frame, the range is 100k, 110k. Even shorter time frame, 106.5 between 909.5. But that's all short time frame that we have to be analyzing to know if the trend is shifting, but it's short time frame. Again, this is a high time frame. Nothing bad. If we test it again, that's something we've seen before. That's something we've seen. Reclaim, retest, slide, not even retest here, but hesitation around all-time high. We front run it. The leg was already very strong. That's why I believe it was pretty much a front run, because we were above 70. And remember, I said many times that being above 70 is when acceleration starts. So that's why I believe these corrections were bought so fast compared to this. We haven't even broken about 70 RSI. That's hesitation. The moment we break, again, you could even argue this is the candle that breaks the 70 RSI explosion. We get very far from the averages, and we move fast. You can even see it any. It doesn't matter the time frame you use. It's explosion after the 70. So we haven't really crossed it. So yeah, that's why people might say, okay, this is a constant various divergence. It's a failure. Like again, I said, be careful with this because you can enter in a never-ending loop of bullies and various divergences. Oh, this is the range where BTC tops. Yeah, sure, okay, you can play that. I won't. I play the trend. You might be thinking now that what am I doing now? I'm now ignoring RSI, which has been one of the main indicators. No, it's one of the main indicators, but structure first, trend later. What helped me find the bottom, and I said a tap of previous all-time high and a retest of the 50. I didn't say RSI levels. This is fast. Sorry, this is first. And then I say that all that should align with holding this, and this should hold. And it did. But this is confluence for the main structure. All we are seeing now is chop, and we could be just be now way to retest the EMA. I said it wasn't necessary because I saw that before. It was here. It wasn't here. So it doesn't have to repeat. Here we broke and we didn't care. Here in January we lost it. It was pretty much a retest here, right? And people could say this was over the ETF cycle. Look at this range, how people got trapped here, chopped by the structure. The close was still holding bottom and tops, and this is a very strong absorption candle. Could it mean that it could reveal later? Yes, we saw here. It was just another retest of the trend, while RSI didn't make a new low. In fact, you could argue that this was a bullish divergence, right? So again, structure is still good. Yes, but we have seen several rejections here. Is the situation the same for now as we did here? The way we get here, the way the EMA is behaving? No, it's not. Here is in a downtrend, and here is already shifting. We got that rejection when we are in an uptrend. Of course, man. Of course, we are retesting pretty much all-time high after the first time we got rejected. Fibonacci, by the way, remember that. Oh, did you really expect just a complete break? I would be worried if this was just a complete breakthrough. Most people see that as pure strength, right? And when I see big move without any kind of retest, I get a little bit worried because there is no support, no fuel being like recaptured in the way up. So the moment you run out of fuel, you drop hard. It's like driving in the car. If you never stop to refuel, I know the moment you stop, you're gonna stop for good, right? So that's why you don't only play, let's say, the oscillators, as I said many times. How did you play this in 2017? Because we had several big drops, 35, 40, 45, 50, and all that was just retests of the moving averages, especially the 20. How do you trade this? Only based on RSI. You follow the trend until the trend breaks, or you follow the trend until everything looks really, really overheated in the highest time frame. December. Look at this. 97. I mean, even if I don't see any weakness, wouldn't you just try to take some profit at 97 with full euphoria? You won't nail the top, but at least wait for true signs of euphoria. What have we seen so far this cycle? We are above the MA, but we haven't been so far removed from it, because every time we tried, we pretty much came back and almost retested 20 monthly. That's why RSI has been chopping. And this for now is just a new range. That's it. The same way pretty much this was a new range. Getting rejected slightly above the previous all-time high, but holding levels that we couldn't hold, not in summer, not before. So new upper range. Now we do the same, but within this range. Try the all-time high. We can't. We establish a new low, or even come back again. That would be huge, by the way, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. But yeah, still within a reasonable price action. MA for the month from the monthly just crossed it like we did in September 24. So this could be just a deviation, a chop. RSI wise, just chop. Right? 2017, we didn't break it. 2020, we did. The last cycle, come back here. Again, this looks like more like a structured push. And if people expect this crossing 70 RSI with the strong moves, right? In this case, we have to not only the 70s, now 75 more or less is the top for what we've seen now. If we expect that parabola kind of move, then we haven't seen that this cycle yet. Why? There's nothing to worry about, right? If we take a look at total 3, let me just refresh this for a second. Let's take a look at total 3 from the daily perspective and then the weekly. Daily, we've lost the MAs. Is it over? We're getting rejected. Is it over? I pointed out many times. This was Q4. Completely lost the MA, right? Getting rejected even. And then all of a sudden, what happened? Does it mean it has to happen the same way? Am I implying? No. What I'm saying, it always looked bad for altcoins, right? They are way more volatile. And you might say, okay, your head and shoulder is broken. Is it? It depends on how you draw it. The general structure is still going. There is no divergences anywhere. You could even argue that we are building a bullish divergence here, right? So 2024, we saw that before pushing back up. January, when everything looked like we were topping because ETFs, blah, 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 what we did, we tested the 100. We reclaimed again. It's just liquidity grabbing here, liquidity. We reclaim all the uptrends, the averages, and up we go. Right? After being below them for so long here in September, but not making lower lows, which was the August low. It's just compression. This is the daily. Remember, I don't trade the daily. What are we doing now? Compressing, not making lower lows, not even these May lows, these are the most important ones. And we go to the weekly. We open this and we see, okay, we're getting rejected. Now, closing way below the 20, right? We can even go back here, 786, sorry, to top the 50 again. Isn't that something we have done several times before running back up? Yes, but this is closing below the MA. Again, this is not an exact science. I can give you some example where we close momentarily below, not making lower lows, excuse me, and even being below all the averages. That's why this took longer, because it was weaker below every freaking average. And now we haven't even done that, not even in this downtrend here, right? So even if you buy the 50 here, even though in August there was a big week down here to the 100, even below the Fibonacci, even if you buy the 50 and wait, would you be really sad now? Would you be really sad now here if you bought here when no one wants to buy because it's all over? Just think, this is, people say, why would you buy this? It looks terrible. Because I have a strategy, man, and I have bullish averages that I pay attention to. Again, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of explosive moves out of nowhere, apparently. Not because people don't see this as accumulation and strength building above the most short-term, let's say, important averages, even though it's a weekly, right? I mean, you have to reclaim the lowest bands to be back in a bull market. But once you are in the bull market, the 20 and the 50 are the ones that should hold, right? And we were building strength. We were sifting the tides. You can see the sift. I have explained this many times, but we were making high highs. Yes, that's why price was compressing. And that's why when you break this compression, it's in such an explosive move, because we've been accumulating for months. Well, perhaps you didn't, for weeks and months because you were scared, or you capitulated, or you were just back holding because you didn't sell here, and now you are desperate. Let me tell you something. If this is your first cycle and you manage to make money, and let's say you sell around the top, you control yourself and you don't enter back because you see there's another candle going, and you wait for higher time frame to enter, even if you do the 50. When you see this going down, you are not afraid. You will be excited because you see this as discount. Incredible. If we get to this, even better. You are even praying for price to go lower because you know you would buy at an incredible discount. The only difference is here, the chart is the same, the market is the same. The only difference is how you have played that before. So you have powder, you have cash to buy at discount. That's why most experienced traders get excited at support and get cautious at resistance, right? Because they unload at supply areas, which is the resistance, and they buy at demand areas. They control the emotions, they play long time frame. They don't care, right? They buy discounts and sell premiums. That's what they do. And when they see this, and they're in no rush, they wait for any bottom formation, right? And even if I have to buy here after the reclaim, it is better to buy here perhaps than buying falling knives. That is what retail does, because retail needs have the feeling that they have to be in the market 24/7, otherwise they could lose a potential new leg. But if you think you could lose a potential new leg, it's because you have no strategy, man. You're just praying. If you see a new candle going up, you think, okay, perhaps this is it, and I'm outside, let me buy. And you buy again a green candle, and then you get fucked. And okay, perhaps we are back to break even. Fuck, we're even going lower. Why did I buy here? This is a fucking scam. It's just no strategy. It's just green candle, I buy, red candle, I panic. Have a strategy, and crypto is so volatile that you will have an opportunity later on. You will always have an opportunity. And let me tell you something. I drew this inverse head and shoulder based on the close. But if you draw it where the price tapped, like the bottom, like I did here with the wick, right? You can even go back here. Tap the 50, get rejected by this important high time frame level, reclaim tap again the 100 like we did here, get again rejected, obvious, we make a higher low at the 50 again. So the shoulder, the inverse head and shoulder is still valid and building. So I see this, I see nothing wrong, even if we get back here. The thing is, I look at the daily and I see this could mean like a, I don't know, a 5% move, something like that. For altcoins could be like 15, 12, and I get panic. Another 12% on top of all we've dropped down, it's over, man. Is it? Because I just see good price action. The thing is, this like 5, 6, 7 weeks of pure pain for people. And that's why this market is always difficult, right? Because people are mostly glued to low time frame. And that's an issue. Again, I see nothing wrong here. If I take a look at others is losing the 100, right? We've seen closes below. So again, this is not exact science, but we did the same here in 2024. We tapped the 50, we got rejected. We even went below for some time, below the 100, and then up we go. Right? So this is a bull market, or others are chopping. And again, if I zoom out even more, what I see is this is a huge range. Do you know what people here now, people who have been through this, who are going through this, are saying it's over? People who join here say, man, imagine buying in this range. I don't care if it's even here. Look at where the price is now. So whole people's strategy and validation comes only if I know what happened next, right? So they can't, I posted yesterday, they can't identify good opportunity or exit points, right? Because they only base it all in price. Here, 2020, it was all over. I see it's a reclaim, I get rejected here, reclaim of this moving average, something we didn't do here. We tried here, we hold it pretty much, even though we were weak below, we have the crash, but we come back and now we start reclaiming the trends. All of them. Here, it's a great opportunity to buy. It's like, okay, we are back. What if we get rejected again? Okay, every time you tap it, it becomes weaker, right? That's apparently the theory. Every time you tap an area. So I see strength building. This, again, August, the people were very here on Twitter. Here! After breaking, after leaving this range finally behind, after keeping climbing. Why? Because this is the weekly, and every week has many candles and wicks. Make people doubt a lot. This is emotional swings every day, every few hours. But the trend is huge. And then we see this and people go, what's going on? Crypto is the future. But why? Because green candles, that's why. So that's why I love when people say, what's the catalyst? Really? Don't you really know how we all behave? Why are casinos and gambling sites, why they keep making more and more money? Sports bets. People are greedy. And they look for the dopamine rush. Do you think that green candle won't attract them? And then build a word salad narrative that makes them believe that they are investing in something really, really tough. I remember the CK roll-ups, 1 gazillion transactions per second. Why for? What's that for? I don't care, man. It's the future. It's Web3. What's Web3? I don't care. It's something about crypto, whatever. I just buy. That's how people operate, right? And if the market puts them in their place, because I said, market's gonna put you money in front of you. The thing is what you do. So they just disrespect their gains, they backhold it, and then round trip it all, and then call the market a scam. So again, what's different here than here? It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Again, another fake out here while the MAs were holding in October before the big explosion, but holding the MAs. Right? Even if we drop down here, again, another 10, 12%. 10%, yeah. That would be terrible. Why? It's just retesting the lows. Oh, that in hindsight, do you know what people could say in hindsight? Did you buy the double bottom? I know. It's very easy to explain what happens when you see it. Right? So I see this and I say, okay, price moved up. I guess this is reaccumulation, right? When you are here, what do you think? Right? That's your bias. When I have shown the different tests on Twitter, you see your bias. I see people say it's going up, others saying it's going down. It's the same chart. It's very difficult in real time. But again, respect the trends. That's it. That's just nothing else. I'm gonna use the other Cardano example. It's the same freaking structure, pretty much playing now. So we got rejected here. We start reclaiming the averages, even if you don't play the averages, right? You have this pushback back here. We have a big retracement, 50%, but where is the place where we bounce? This liquidity. Look at this liquidity holding. In the place it was resistant before. Don't you think this is demand? This is people willing to buy this, and for weeks we build a bottom, so you don't have to even rush and say, okay, it's very difficult to find this area because before it moves up. Now you have plenty of time. It was August and it broke in November. Reaccumulation. Do you know what bears would think? This is just distribution below the MA. This is over. So how do you interpret that? That's up to you. I see its previous resistance so far acting as support for a long time, and this is a launchpad. Then we get to the next level, get rejected again, absorption above all the averages, important weeks absorbing, not letting this, even this is turning into support now. Again, a new reclaim. We break without hesitation, and then we top. We get, we made the previous all-time high, but again, we are about 70 RSI on the weekly, so this is explosive. It gets bought quickly, not even retesting, because we are in explosive move. And then we start chopping around here. We still hold this, but the strength is fading after reaching 95. So even if you sell here, because you see 95, right? Perhaps you open the daily and you see some weakness. Let's say, let me reload this. Let's say, give me a second because I have lost the chart. Sorry, we're back. Okay. So let's say you sold here because you think this is the top. What do you miss? An 83% move. Considering you don't buy again, right? It's painful. Is it? Well, if you were positioned, let's say here in this support, you have made like a 13x. What if you have held 30x? Wow. Yeah. So that's why allocating at the bottom can give you the flexibility to see, perhaps hold and see if we hold the structure, if you hold the EMA or not. And if we hold, I hold it and see where it goes, right? Perhaps until we lose it, and that would be pretty much break even, by the way, here. But the thing is, I can allow that. If you buy green candles, if we buy here, you're scared here, right? And again, we lose everything. We try to reclaim. We lost it, but we make a higher low, which pretty much build a base here. October 24. You can see here how in the bear market we start reclaiming the averages. We lose them temporarily, but again, structure is holding, and we are slowly reclaiming the EMA again. Silently, when people think it's all over, it's been climbing, right? And all of a sudden, what do we have? An explosive move right into resistance. This is, you can see this structure is, once you identify it, you can see it's pretty much, I'm not going to say predictable, but it's kind of easy to read, right? The thing is, would you have the balls to buy? What about now? We test the 200, there's demand. We come back here again, and now we are getting close to that. So if I were a trader, someone who want to accumulate, you either place your bets on 0.54, you could be front run, right? Because so far we are retested this support area. Same kind of support that we built when it was resistance. Remember, resistance now it turns into support. So we hold this, we reclaim all the EMAs like we did here. We might find some resistance here like we did again here. And up we go. That's how I see it. There's nothing bearish. It's just, look at this exact perfect bearish retest with this. This could be seen as a scam pump because it didn't break. It was very sudden and it couldn't break. So they say this is why I don't like these big explosive moves all of a sudden, because they have no fuel, no base, right? And it got rejected. We tried here, it couldn't. Yes, so you find the bottom. Perhaps you just again a double bottom, and then they say, did you buy the double bottom? Very high time frame support area above the EMAs. It was an easy bet. Is it? Because I don't see people talking about this as a huge opportunity. So when we see prices here, oh yes, this was accumulation. Was it? Because if this was accumulation, this is accumulation as well. Will you buy this? Why? This coin is dead, and I just start mixing potential narratives. Just trade the charts, right? Because if we take a look at finally USDT, something my people would say, okay, these look worrisome. Let's see. Structure from the daily perspective, it's above all DMAs, and that's something we don't want. That could be a reversal. We had the bullish divergence here that started this new leg, right? Being above all the moving averages is not good. Doesn't mean it has to be a constant, an instant recovery, an instant reversal. No. Let's see structure first. I pointed out here 495.5. It's a range that we don't want to see reclaimed. And again, USDT is a little bit tricky because of the market cap increasing constantly. Something we've also seen here. All I see here is demand. And look at all these demand. People could say here, okay, above the amber, it's getting rejected here, but holding. Look at all this demand. Is it really demand? Because we are building a bear flag within a downtrend, and the bear flag confirmed. Now we come back here and we form a bullish divergence. We get rejected, we find support here in this 4-5, something you already know. We try again, we hold it again, and we are pushing. So are we looking for supply, right? Supply here means people buying BTC or other crypto, right? Find supply, money enter in the market again. And so far it is rejecting. So this could be just a deviation like it was here. And if we get rejected again, we need to lose all the MAs, and this has to be lost again. Remember, I draw the falling wedge, right? The rising wedge, sorry. And even in the daily, also the weekly, we could even argue that this is another bear flag. Bear flag, broken. Bear flag, broken. This is the bear flag continuation pattern. When everything looks like, if you stuck to this low time frame or this period, you can say, okay, it's rolling over, making high. Is it really making higher highs? Nope. Is it really making higher highs? Nope. Is it? Nope. Did it really make a high high? No, it got rejected here. Down we go. That's why this has to be rejection area. Wicks above, okay. I wouldn't like to see above 500. Sorry, 5%. This so far is a downtrend. You go to the weekly. Yes, oscillators. I know that. Structure first. We could be building. Look at this. I haven't even changed the daily pattern. Bear flag. Why all of a sudden are we breaking down, man? Because we are below the MA as well. Here you have the oscillators, right? And now we are getting rejected here. Still rejected by the 50. Fake out here, completely faking everyone out here in April. We found all the bottom you already know. We failed to hold this. We hold this. Even this become resistance. Can you see the downtrend? Can you see how the 50 here rejected again? We lost the 200. We below. We tried again, but all below the EMA. Yes, you might see, but reverses must happen at some point. Yes, but remember I said what I see here in RSI is this kind of area. 40, 50 is no man's land. So I want to see support at around 30, 20, like to see, okay, this is high temperature support, this move is over. Now we start a new one. That's how I see it. That's why I saw this. So no man's land here was 2023, no man's land. This is really support. We lose this, we try lower high, we try again, another lower high, and we eventually give up. Lower high, we try again, lower high. It could be a lower high, even if it gets rejected to 526, that would be, I don't know, BTC going to 98k, something like that, even lower. It could happen and still be in an uptrend, in a downtrend, sorry. This is a bear flag again, bear flag continuation, bear flag continuation. This is the key area for now. We could be making bearish retest to confirm the downtrend. We did that here. We didn't here because, again, another confluence point is you know I have pointed this as an intermediate range for a reason, because it hasn't acted so far as a reversal point. This has, right? So this intermediate level has been more like a temporary, like, I don't know, it's not a really reversal point. Here, support in the reversal, support in the reversal, and now just chop because it's an important area. Is it a reversal itself or just a stop within the downtrend? And even higher time frame, for now the monthly is bouncing. Let's see how the month ends, but I see getting rejected by the EMA. Right? Got rejected, fake out, lower high, and the descending triangle that I mentioned. Right? You could even argue that this is a very debate. You could even argue that. But Is this the monthly reversal after the bear market? I guess people could argue that, and we will have to see if this is in fact a reversal or not. That's why all the retests look scary. And now, when we ask ourselves, is this a reversal? We analyze everything. We analyze stocks. We analyze economy. We analyze the sentiment, the levels we have seen, the monthly RSI, weekly RSI. What has changed? Nothing. In fact, we have war. We have still some tariff deals to be made, important ones. Despite all that hesitation, everything is pushing. We can see stocks whales are accumulating even as recent as last May. So I don't see any ingredient. Retail is fearful. Whales are accumulating. This is just a scary retest, in my opinion. And if I get trapped, I would rather lose money in this case than losing this whole opportunity after being in this whole bull run since the bottom. And I missed the whole new leg, the big leg that BTC dominance is hinting. I don't see a cycle. Yes, we don't have many data points, but I don't see a cycle where BTC will everything tops without BTC dominance rolling over a little bit. This cycle, altcoins won't run. We saw that in 2020 regarding 2017. That wouldn't happen. Then we thought the same this cycle compared to 2021. Do you really think that greed has any kind of end? That big pockets won't really rotate and make people buy shitcoins and they dump on them? Do you really think that small caps never run in stock markets? It is said that small caps struggle when the interest rates are high, because in reality, in real life, they have more difficulties to access to capital, right? So big money knows that when that alleviates, the rates go down, and they have more access. Those companies have more access to money. They start moving their big money into those companies, anticipating better performance for them, because the money, the economic conditions are better for them, right? And that's when you see that lower rates better for altcoins and for small caps. That's more or less the explanation. But again, have we ever seen in a cycle topping in fear, disbelief? What if I said a few times, what if we are not bullish enough? Because if within this very tight regime, everything has climbed so much, right? Let's see even the monthly. Everything has climbed so much, right? Without really cutting much. And we think we need this kind of zero level to push. If we apply that logic and we have climbed so much with that environment, what could happen if free money is back in the system? I mean, I'm following that logic. I'm not saying that has to happen, but following that logic, you should be more bullish, because we have climbed a lot in very tight conditions. Imagine when losing conditions come back. I mean, I don't see any reason to be bearish yet, but inflection points are difficult to navigate, and that's why it's only a few by great windows, opportunity windows, and most just chase. So very long video, but seriously, I don't know how else to explain it, how else to transmit any kind of calm and data for you to be focused. I really hope it helps, but I have the feeling that most people don't even want to watch long videos because too long. But if you are investing for months and weeks and you cannot watch a video telling you everything, analyzing everything, so you don't have to. Although you should create your own strategy. If you don't have time for that, I'm sorry, but you won't really make it. You might have some luck, get some money, but you will eventually give it back to the market. That's it. I hope you have a great weekend and stay calm, because I still believe the best is yet to come. See ya.